It's 5 o'clock p.m. here in Seoul. I'm Devin Whiting at the Arirang newsroom. We're breaking into our regular programming to bring you the latest briefing from the South Korean health authorities. That should start momentarily, and we'll go over to the site and listen in now.
From now on, we will start the regular briefing for COVID-19 cases in Korea. Today's briefing will be presented by First Vice Head of the Central Disaster and Safety Countermeasures Headquarters, Bang Neung-hoo. We also have Tae-ho Yoon present, and also Lee Sang-hae also present in the room as well. We are going to provide sign language translation at the same time. First, we will hear from Minister Bang Neung-hoo. So, I am the First Vice Head of the Central Disaster and Safety Countermeasures Headquarters for COVID-19, Bang Neung-hoo. As of midnight of July 5th, there were 43 community spread cases, and there were 18 confirmed cases coming in from abroad. For the number of newly confirmed cases, we have seen 13,091 cases in total, and as of now, 976 people are still being treated. Yesterday, we did not see an additional case of death. Today, a meeting was held under the leadership of Prime Minister Chung Se-kyun, and we talked about the status and countermeasures for people who are violating the preventive measures and also preventive measures for those who are abroad. So let me update you about what has happened over the 2 weeks and the evaluation that we have done. So until July 4th, over the 2-week period, on an average, there were 46.9 people confirmed additionally. This was not different from the previous 2 weeks before. However, we have seen a decrease in community spread, and we saw an increase in people coming in from abroad being infected. So for those confirmed cases coming in from abroad, we were able to find out in the quarantine phases, such as in airports, and this did not spread to community spread. And as so, it is less risky. And in terms of risk evaluation, it is important for us to look at the status of community spread. Patients in community spread is showing a decreasing trend. Over the past 2 weeks, on a daily average, we have seen 31.1 people additionally being confirmed, and this is a decrease by 5.7 people compared to the previous 2 weeks. And for the metropolitan area, we have seen the number decreasing from 33 to around 19, and this was very influential. However, we have seen the infections increasing in other regions, so this is offsetting the decrease that we see in the metropolitan area. And in the non-metropolitan area, we saw an increase up to around 11.1 people being newly confirmed. And we have seen additional confirmed cases happening in areas such as Daejeon, Gwangju, and other areas as well. And for the transmission, rather than the big facilities, this is happening through small gatherings such as religious activities. And we are seeing such trends in transmission. And because of such a characteristic, we have seen a decrease in additional confirmed cases. However, we saw an increase in the ratio of the confirmed cases of unknown causes, or it is being maintained at a similar level. In the overall evaluation, we are able to control massive outbreak of COVID-19. However, we are still unable to actually catch up to the transmission of COVID-19 itself in terms of our research. So therefore, we are right now repeatedly taking preventive measures. And furthermore, we are focusing on small gatherings because we are seeing an increase in transmission from those areas and in from small facilities as well. And we see the infection spreading across the country, and because this is rapidly spreading, there is still a risk. So right now, we're not at a level to upgrade the level of social distancing to the higher levels. However, we do have to severely evaluate. So in line with this, Gwangju Metropolitan City has raised its social distancing level to level 2, and also for the Jeollanam-do province, it will also be elevating its social distancing level tomorrow. And we are making full efforts so that we can prevent the spread to local communities. However, for small gatherings and religious facilities and for long-term care centers, it is sometimes hard to monitor, so we need to ask for your cooperation. We do understand that you are probably feeling inconvenient. However, for people living in Gwangju area and also for the Jeollanam-do province area, we want to ask for your further cooperation. And also to prevent the spread, especially in the Honam region, we are also striving hard. We have sent officials to the Gwangju area so that we can do epidemiology research, and we are supporting with necessary resources. And we are going to come up with measures for hospital bed situation. And we have additionally secured hospital beds as well. And we are going to use the hospital beds of other areas if necessary. And for people with severe illnesses, they will be hospitalized, and for people with light illnesses, they will be entered into life treatment centers. And we are also going to support other areas so we can contain the virus, and we are going to cooperate with local governments actively. Until now, the government and local governments has tried to come up with very strong preventive measures, and we have taken administrative orders as well in order to do so. And we have placed administrative orders for entertainment facilities, and we also had other orders put in place if necessary. And we had random crackdowns as well so that we can prevent spread coming from those people violating preventive measures. However, this is not enough. We also have to have our citizens cooperate. You have to make sure that you are not thinking in the manner that you alone won't make much of a difference. You have to make sure that you are always on alert. In the meeting, we talked about countermeasures, and we said for any violation, we're going to take severe legal measures. Until now, the police office has come up with a quick dispatch team so that they can take measures when there are any violations and preventive measures. Until July 4th, for people who have interfered with preventive measures and etc., we have actually charged around 1,700 people until now. And for those people who are violating quarantine measures in a repeated manner, this amounted to around 10 people, and we're actually going to indict them. And for people who interfere with driving of cars and who don't wear masks, we are taking severe measures for these people as well. Until July 4th, we have investigated 110 people, and some people are actually being indicted as well. For preventive measures, you have to make sure that this is not only for yourself, but for the entire community. You have to remember this. So for anyone who intentionally violate the measures, we are going to take severe measures as well. And we want to ask for your cooperation once again. Next, in the meeting today, we also talked about the expats living abroad for overseas construction. COVID-19 is spreading across the world rapidly, and there are people who are living abroad for overseas construction, and we see cases of deaths happening. For people living abroad, they are normally in areas or countries without sufficient hospital measures. So the ministry, based on the opinions placed by the government, has come up with some comprehensive measures. First, for overseas construction sites, we want to strengthen disease control measures. We're going to monitor the status of the protective gear such as masks, and we're going to see what the demand is there. And we're also going to continuously monitor the situation in hospitals there as well. We're going to enhance disease control measures, and we're also going to ask for cooperation in the corresponding countries so we can secure safety for people working abroad. Also, we're going to make sure that the non-tax service can be settled in overseas construction sites. However, we are still in preparation for it, and this is not completed. So, for video call and remote call medicine diagnosis, we're going to provide guidances so that we can use untagged guidances first. And if there are any people who are in critical care and who need critical care, we're going to make sure that we send out private jets so that they can come back to be hospitalized and be treated. We're going to continue to gather opinions for people working abroad so that we can make sure that we maintain health and safety of our citizens. It is the first week of July. With the COVID-19 countermeasures, we also have to make sure that we prepare for extreme heat and torrential rain. And even in cases of natural environment, we have to make sure that we take measures against COVID-19 as well. So we are making thorough preparation for shelters at the same time. When there is a torrential rain or high wind, we have to make sure that we keep people safe, so we are preparing for that as well. And in order to prevent COVID-19 in extreme heat, we're going to secure the heat shelters as much as possible, and we're also going to manage these shelters. And we're going to check the security and safety of the vulnerables, and we're going to support with resources in an untaxed manner. Over the weekend, we believe that a lot of religious facilities refrain from having services, and we want to thank you for that. However, through small gatherings of religious facilities, we still see cluster outbreak happening. So we need even more active cooperation by religious facilities. Transmission can come up through the passing of droplets of saliva. So we want to ask you to prevent from eating in big groups, and we also want to ask you to practice frequent hygiene such as wearing masks and washing hands. And starting in the weekend, there were some people who actually visited parents in the long-term care facilities because they were allowed to visit them now. So we want to make sure that people are able to express their love for their family members once again. So in order to do so, we have to make sure to remember to practice frequent hygiene so that we can keep our values. We ask for your consciousness and also for your support. We will also do so as well. Thank you.
That'll conclude our coverage of this briefing. Thank you for watching. Arirang News will be back at the top of the hour.
Summer is here with the temperatures already heating above 30 degrees Celsius. The annual heat wave